Yeah.
Okay.
Good days.
It's true. But like I'm a student of history, so we did a lot of history. Of course, we knew, and even our natural sciences, geography, we knew about the Rift Valley. People think the Rift Valley is only yours. It's not. It comes all the way from Namibia, crossing.
There's a Rift Valley in Nigeria.
I said Namibia.
Oh.
The Rift Valley comes all the way from Namibia through to the eastern part. We studied those things. We studied about the Maasai of Kenya and the Maasai of Tanzania. We knew these things.
You read that in history?
Yeah.
Okay.
About the Maasai?
Yeah, shut up. I know what you're doing. Go away.
Kenya and Tanzania.
Not.
People studied Cambridge.
I know.
You don't know.
Hey, God in heaven. I should just
did
learn to
844.
close my mouth.
When your curriculum...
Learn about like the Fulani of West Africa. You didn't learn about those
No,
people.
we studied the Berlin Conference.
Hey, Jamini. You didn't read about Usman Danfodio and the Mali Kingdom and the Songhai Kingdom. You didn't read about those things in school?
No.
Oh my Lord.
We studied Vasco da Gama.
The people who went to America, the people who were in Africa, you didn't read about.
No.
Oh no. No. You need to read those things. Very, very
The government had a monument
for Jesus.
for Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what happens when your education system is in numericals.
Yes.
And other people go through a system that is a sentence or a word.
I'm going to leave you alone for now.
Like Montessori, Cambridge. Sisi tulisoma 844.
I won't even
And
mention.
844, our fathers and mothers did what? What was it?
But
O levels, I don't know.
O levels, yeah. O and A levels.
I won't even mention the name.
No, it had a name. Yes, O levels, A levels, but there was what was it? 7 what?
7, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I won't even mention the school I went to because now you people will start shouting.
Which one was it?
Never. Hey, God. So that you can diss me from now to New Year.
But you're
Never.
somewhere in the net, right? In the interwebs. So
Sorry?
we just need to
We'll
search.
find it. It has a
find it.
website. Your school has a website.
Choose one. You either tell us or we find it.
No, thing is, if you can find your school in a website, you've made it.
You know, some of us we find our schools every 5 years.
Let me
It's a
actually
polling
see where I went to school, whether it is anywhere.
Just go to the IEBC register. You'll find your school there.
Oh yeah, IEBC.
Wait, Ivy, how are you?
Mine has no...
Please ignore these men. Ivy, how are you? You are fine this morning. She has even eaten breakfast. She's jumping. We're very happy. Have you seen Christine? She looks like a candy cane. You know what a candy cane is? Yeah, I can't hear that thing. It doesn't talk to me. It's just buzzing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So
Candy cane in a candy shop.
exactly, that's how Christine looks this morning. And then even Joylene is here. After she returned her chair, she has stopped being persona non grata. We have brought her back into the fold. And Frank is here for a second day in a row after leave. I'm telling you, life is good. And let me tell you some of the conversations that we'll be having this morning. I was about to say, shall we? But I'm very cognizant of the fact.
You just did.
Yeah, I just said it so that you know that I was thinking about it, but I was not necessarily going to say.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Guys, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
What's today?
my God.
Ooh,
What happened yesterday?
Rained.
It rained and washed away everything.
Are you sure?
Wednesday, the 29th of October, is the last day for Kepsea. So the students are already...
You're moving on swiftly.
Very fast. And other things still continue as we are moving. So today we'll be having a couple of conversations. Just in case you're wondering, this is a situation room. It's Dennis and Dennis trying to diss me this morning, but we're going to keep it moving all the same. Yeah, live
No,
streams
we're
are
trying
up
to jog your memory.
on YouTube, Facebook, and on X.
No, I keep interrupting.
We're also on ATN this morning. As we get into things this morning, I can see Okari has an agenda today, but we...
Tuesday was a good day.
Hey! So, let me tell you what we're talking about today. Sino, he was once a cabinet minister for education. He was also a cabinet minister for interior. He was known as the Super CS at some point.
Yep.
He now went to abroad, overseas, as we say in Nigeria. And then he came back and said, you know what? I want to take a stab at this thing and I want to be president of the country. He's joined a political party. He's done many, many things. And he says, you know what? Maybe Kenyans will trust me. Will they? That's the question. We'll be talking with one Dr. Fred Matiang'i. He joins us at 7 o'clock this morning. And we're going to be going into a number of things. There have been many questions. And folks want to know, are you the one that perhaps could be given the opportunity to lead the country? We'll have a conversation with Dr. Fred Matiang'i from 7 o'clock this morning. You also have an opportunity to ask him what you want to ask him. So you can already start sending those in and we'll make sure we collate all of those and ask him the questions, because it's not just a conversation in the room. It's about what Kenyans want to hear. And then we'll, put him to the test and see if he comes out green or red. What will the trace be? Cindy, that's the conversation that we'll have. Also, today is the 29th of October. Tanzanians go to the polls, and the question will be, will one of the 16 Samia Suluhu challengers make it, or will it be Samia first time at the ballot, to then make a choice for the presidency? Remember that she took over from John Pombe Magufuli after he passed away. So she was not elected as a president. She was his vice president, and that's how she became president as a result of his death. She's gone to the polls. She's campaigned. The polls came to an end Friday. And so now Tanzanians go to the vote. Interestingly enough, it is the same day when Tanzanians have said, we're coming out. We're going to protest in the streets today because
Tanzanians are going to do that.
That's what they've said.
Once.
We'll wait and see.
Let's wait and see. Well, Professor Kagwanja will join us at 9 o'clock. We'll have a conversation around what's happening in Tanzania, the different questions that are coming out in terms of human rights violations, in terms of, proper leadership, and what it will mean that if she will have that conversation with us, and we'll let you know about that in just a bit. But we'll talk about that discussion in a bit. It seems apparently we're not going to do that with Professor Kagwanja today. We will talk European Union, but we'll share that in a bit, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Sorry, just got a bit confused there. All right, so those are the conversations that we'll have today. It's 25 minutes after 6 o'clock. You took us to Sao Tome Principe.
Yes.
All right.
Sao Tome Principe. And so we talked about a population of around 247,000, yeah? And it is a democratic republic, and the capital and largest city is Sao Tome, and gained its independence from Portugal on the 12th of July 1975. It is rich in cocoa. It exports that to parts of the world. So if you're a lover of chocolate, perhaps you had a piece of Sao Tome and Principe. I love that name, Sao Tome and Principe. But the proverb today, the sun rises for everyone.
That's the proverb. The sun rises every morning.
For everyone.
Oh, for everyone.
Yeah. He doesn't choose. The mighty.
The sun rises
For everyone.
for everyone. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when you listen to the wealthy people, not rich, wealthy people, because there's a difference.
The difference.
They will always say, opportunities are everywhere. However, we all have 24 hours in a day. So, for example, Elon Musk does not have 25 hours. Who else is Dangote? Let me use an African example.
Yeah.
Dangote doesn't have 25 hours a day. He only has 24 hours a day. There are certain things in life where there's a balance. And that balance then, just like gravity, if Dangote jumps, he will come down. If Elon Musk jumps, he'll come down. If Amasai jumps, he'll come down. So for me, it just speaks of there's always a common denominator for everyone and an opportunity for everyone. And you have an opportunity to wake up at 3. You wake up at 2.
You just didn't go there.
I was
But
coming
anyway,
there.
Welcome.
You have an opportunity to wake up at
Yeah.
2. You had an opportunity to wake up at 3. You had an opportunity to wake up at 5 or at 4. it's the same clock, it's the same time, it's giving everybody the same opportunities. However, it's how you exploit those opportunities that matters at the end of the day, because you can't give excuses and say somebody else has a head start or has an advantage because they were given an extra second or an extra hour. No. So when the sun is rising, you can choose to stay in bed when it's shining, or you can choose to take it as a signal, get out and do something. Yeah,
absolutely. It just reminds me of what one Dr. Patience Oko says, my mom, and she would say, you know what, when those days it wouldn't apply to go to school, right? That as they came, the missionaries came and went, then they decided that the only way to get people to understand that there's a place where you can go and learn a subject was when they would ring the bell. So they would ring the bell. So people who heard the bell would know, that it's time to go to school. But the ring of the bell was heard by everybody. It was up to you to hear the bell and go to school. So that bell did not ring in somebody's house. It rang everywhere. Everybody could hear it. If you decided to go to school because you heard the bell, that's up to you. So she normally says, look, when they rang the bell for school, did I tell you that you should not go? No. Everybody heard the bell. You would have gone. So just like when the sun shines, it doesn't say, okay, you sit in the corner over there, I'm going to shine for everybody. You can decide to do with it as you please. It is up to you.
True. I mean, I would just look at it in terms of even the laws that are created for different jurisdictions, you know. So if you come to Kenya, you have the supreme law that governs everybody. Everyone is supposed to follow that. You choose to get out of it, you get yourself in the other yard of the stick, right? If implementation of the same is a subject for another day, but remember the supreme law is there for everybody. So you can't say this law favors someone else and discriminate someone else. So
indeed.
Yep.
All right. So people tuned in this morning. Let's say a quick hello to you as we get into things. A very, very good morning all around. And somebody's asking, can I connect? Yes, you can. Just go to our live streams. You can find them on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. And a very good morning to everybody. And those who listen and don't comment, we hear you, and that we engage everybody in this discourse. A quick good morning to you. Pan-African Kenyan says, good morning from Nairobi. Good morning to you. Robert Tobogo is tuning from Mombasa. Juma says, no radio signal. Oh, really? Where are you? Maybe that will help us then to be able to see that. Shisa Daniel is tuned in from Uganda and says, good morning. Don Sabwa is here and he says, Ndu, yes, ask Okari and Aseto. Are you ready to be asked the question? Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So, Aseto talk. Okay.
Imepotea tena.
No, uko hapo, iko sawa. Where are the two Kenyans who disappeared in Uganda?
Well, lawyer Nelson Harvey told us yesterday that they have credible information that they're being held in what's the name of that place?
Some place in Uganda
where they torture. No, it has Mbuya. Yeah, that's what they said. Where apparently people are taken and tortured, and that's what's up.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
There's your answer. Don't Tabwa. Christina A says, good morning to you. Duke is tuned in and says, yes, it's midweek. Indeed it is. Jimmy Monovi, good morning, Spice family. Delighted to be here. I love this show. Jimmy, thank you for tuning in every morning as you do. Robinson Gatiba tuned in. Nakuru has been dead since Monday. Folks in Nakuru are crying. I don't know who we can talk to look into that. Perhaps we pick it up properly today. On another note, we must seriously look at transport safety in Kenya. It's urgent.
Please underline transport. If you know, you know. Please just.
Aseto has an issue.
She spoke my language.
Aseto needs support.
Yeah. Transport situation in this country is just messed up.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Who is listening? Aseto is talking.
You said country or county?
Country.
In this
Country. Sorry.
Country. This side of the Sahara.
Peter Chiari.
Not on Limpopo.
Peter Chiari says good morning.
Oh, with an expressway actually.
Thank you.
Wow. You know it stretches. Mombasa Road is long, eh?
Yeah.
It starts from Huru Highway all the way to Tusks.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Peter Kiari says good morning, and he's quoting Proverbs 13:3. He who guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips shall have destruction. Shh. Kennedy Ongwae says good morning. Tune in from Nairobi as the wind of change is blowing across the continent. Isakale says good morning, Spices. Here for an announcement by Ndu concerning a certain parking lot. Usijali Isa. We're working on it. Sawa. Just
I think I missed a conversation here. What is this thing about parking lots?
So Mutuflani and Isakale have decided that what we need to do is we need to do like a situation room after hours and, extend the conversations beyond this platform and, talk about stuff that people want to continue having. So they're saying we should actually develop that. Sawa, you guys. So
parking lot.
It's going to be called the parking lot. They've decided. Yeah. You know how people that chill in the parking lot and they extend? You get it? Yeah. So are you all caught up? Very good. Simon Kibiru is tuning from Mombasa. Good morning. Ndu Aseto and Okari waiting eagerly for today's big conversation. Good day. Good morning, Zach. Okay, tuned in as well. Boaz is here this morning. Kuna committee that was to tell us how much is our public debt. Tunalipa kitu hatujui. Yeah, we're waiting for that committee to tell us. Don't hold your breath or anything. It'll eventually come. Peter Goge is tuned in this morning. I miss those days when Kibaki held a press conference only to tell us that his wife was Lucy Kibaki. I loved it. I only have one wife. Ruse. Masharia Jero is tuned in this morning. Good morning, Ndu and Double Dennis. Good morning to you. John Otieno is already saying, good morning, team ready like Suluhu versus Samia. We'll look into that in just a bit. Dr. Venvik says, good morning, tuned in from Tudor. Erica War says, good morning, guys. Georgia Adimo is tuned in. You would love to hear Edwin Lesamira's voice on the Situation Room, but you hear it every morning. You hear it every morning. Sheila Masasabi says, Sema, tukopoa. Ogopa DJ says what? Oh, Jogu Monica says, good morning. Aseto, it was called Tattoo, the group you're talking about. Wale wa Ogopa
DJs, yeah.
No idea what you're talking about. Okay. Lamek was saying you were tall, you were thinking about Elani. Okay, everybody has a different person as to who you were thinking, but Fiery Red says you're confusing Sema with Tattoo.
Okay. Conversation is ongoing.
It's going, exactly.
You called me tall.
Tall.
Lamek,
how do they know that your name is Tall?
Anyway. Richard
Odera says, good morning. It's all about cosmetic politics. More promises, no impact, no implementation of policies. King Dave Lubale, we see you. Daudi Lubale, you've changed your name. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power and of love and of sound mind. Indeed. Arthur Wino says, good morning, D Squared and Ndu. My Princess Jumbo, before paying contractors like Adani, why can't we start by clearing all pending bills to our local contractors? That's a good question. Pan-African Kenyan says, yes, we studied the Songhai Empire in school. Sasa nyinyi mulienda shule gani? Both of you. These confirmation that they studied those things in school.
They went to Cambridge curriculum just like you.
Pan-African, did you go to Cambridge curriculum? I didn't go to Cambridge curriculum.
Tulienda shule iko na P.O. box.
My school had a P.O. box.
Oh, it had?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to check on Google whether I can find on our website. I only got a Google map.
Get out. Owen Onkalo says, good morning. Actually, the school was called CPE. Christine Ocheng, thank you so much, my sister. Saira Singh is tuned in. Faith Masaba, she says she also remembers studying such. Aseto and Okari, which 844 did you guys go to?
Songhai.
Songhai Kingdom, Mali, Ukoju. Hey. Washo Gatoto says, good morning. Okari, where? Quit when you can. Our parents did KAPE. Do you know what that is? Kape. Stanley Ngasha is tuning in this morning. Bwangi Juma says, good morning. Lest we forget, somebody must go. Ooh. Newton Imase, good morning. Tuning from Nyakach. Patrick Ondeki is tuned in as well. Tunechi, I've decided that is an Igbo name. I have refused for it to be anything else. Grace Omolo says, tuned in. No signal in Nakuru. Checking on that. Daniel Kagwongo is tuned in as well. Listening in from Papua New Guinea. Good morning to you. Love it that you're from the land down, Uko, the land down under. Yusufu says we love our Nigerian brothers, but you said something else in a language that I don't know if I might be insulting anyone, so I'll just keep it quiet. Paddington, UK is where Ambassador De Beja is. George Kim Karimi is tuned in this morning. What happened to Kenya Railways? What happened? Derek Minai is tuned in. David Mangera is here as well. Anthony Karimi says the parking lot, great idea. Sindio, we're going to do it. Roger Nyange tuned in from Voi. Mo Mose is also tuned in, waiting for mature conversations. Let's do it. Jack Shamir tuned in. Leonie Moto, the sun shines for everybody. Kabisa. Shem Ondara. Dennis and Ndu, good morning from Seattle in the US. Wishing my son Alan, who is sitting KCSE starting Monday, now Appenda Sana Spice. Of course, everybody in our thoughts and prayers as they continue with those exams and start others next week. Karibuni Sana Nyote. Sindo, I got it right. Thank you for joining us and being in the room.
Nyota.
Nyota, as in Nyota, everybody. Abi?
You know there's Nyota, so it's...
Nyota is star, twinkle, twinkle, little
I talk
star.
about the other Nyota.
Yeah, 50,000. Oh, no, Apana, yo, Atudri. Let's look into the headline. The front page of Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. Samia versus Suluhu. Is it Samia or is it a solution? Opposition members have been edged out of Tanzania's vote, turning it into a one-horse race. Just in case you were wondering, there are 16 other challengers toward the presidency. The democratic ideals Mwalimu Julius Nyerere once championed now seem buried under a tightening grip of autocratic control. As Tanzanians head to the polls today, the air across Arusha, Dar es Salaam and Moshi is thick with uneasy calm, a nation voting under the shadow of fear, silence and inevitability. Ooh. Yeah, well, people are saying that they didn't expect that SS Hassan was gonna... It sounds like a spaceship, actually, the SS Hassan. In this case, we're talking about Samia Suluhu. Other headlines: Pioneer Grade 9 test revive fears of KCPE scramble for top schools. Well, you should have seen it in term 2 of this year, because that's what it was. By the time term 2 was over and the selections had been done, you already saw that there was a scramble for the top schools. So we have to ask ourselves the question: decategorization of schools, is it really going to happen? Everybody now will be known as a particular school that you offer 1, 2, 3. But in terms of who people scramble for, it's still very real, that struggle. And that you have 3,000 schools that nobody even looked at like this. No selection from anybody in the country for those schools. So you have to ask. Rescue my son from the Russian war. Nakuru mother pleads with the state. They're saying, please bring them home. Kenyans are also asking, bring Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo home as well. The forum, Respect Democracy and Human Rights Forum urges African leaders. We saw that this democratic forum took, it's called the Democratic Union of Africa, DUA, and they had their first meeting yesterday. So 2027 is the year that the Rironi Mao Summit dual carriageway will be ready. This is according to President William Ruto. Sawa?
Yeah. When again?
2027.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. President Suluhu runs solo race after brutally edging out critics. That is going to take a lot of attention today. Strong winds linked to aircraft accidents that killed 11 in Kwale. And we saw, unfortunately, the death of a number of people yesterday. And it was just catastrophic to see that plane went down, carrying a number of tourists and some Kenyans. CJ Come picks 3 judges to hear CDF case. Did you know that there was a CDF case still pending? They've not been able to sort that out. And they've decided that these Iranian fellas, 6 of them who are aboard this stateless, it's called what? Stateless vessel. Yes. That somehow were found in the company of 8.2 billion shillings worth of drugs. They've decided, we need to find out who you guys are, where you've come from, what you are doing. So we're going to hold you for 30 days.
It's going to break bad.
Where? This one is going to be very interesting. Now, Nania Nakuja. Number 2, America.
J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
Now, in America, Trump has unleashed the biggest warship, destroying boats carrying narcotics.
Yep.
And threats of, I don't know whether it's done that inside Venezuela. And then suddenly, hapa took way to
8.2 billion shows up. Bang! Yeah, everybody's
boti.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's a chick called Melissa. Melissa is in Jamaica, and she's telling these guys, nakuja na winds of I don't know how many per hour. And I'm taking... karibu sana. So wow. Jamaicans are in a bit of a tiff at the moment. So pray for Jamaica, because Melissa is taking no prisoners. What she's saying.
But have you guys seen what Trump has done to White House?
He painted. He painted it. It's no longer white.
No, he demolished the East Wing.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to say he painted it like Trump can decide to paint it yellow.
And got rid of the Rose Garden as well.
The Rose Garden.
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
is
God.
now
That's where all the presidents used to go and meet
Yeah,
for
but
tea.
it's now a beautiful concrete mess.
Nice.
Yeah, full of yellow,
Told you.
yellow umbrellas from Mar-a-Lago. Yeah,
He loves yellow because it's gold.
it's like
He should build a church there.
He could. He'd be following in fine form.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, churches.
He's got to do everything that he can do. He's got 3 years left in
Yeah.
his administration. All the things that he thought, oh, you know, when I become president, I want to paint the White House yellow. You see, now he's doing. He has to do.
Daily Nation, eh?
Huh?
Samia eyes history as Tanzania votes. More than 37 million Tanzanians head to the polls today in a contest that President Samia Suluhu Hassan is widely expected to emerge victorious. While the election is historic, Tanzania could formally elect its first female president. It is also clouded by competing narratives, especially regarding the fairness of the campaign, detention of opposition leader Tundu Lissu, and the integrity of the electoral process. Now, in Opoda or Kango Kajaramogi, there is a problem. And this is the wreath problem at Raila Odinga's grave. Hear this. More than a week after his burial on October 19th, visitors are still laying wreaths on Raila's grave, forming a tiny hill of beautiful flowers that cost thousands of shillings and forcing workers to clear them every 2 days. Munapeleka maua sana.
Lakini there's good
Inakuwa
news
shida.
in all of this.
It's a good problem.
Johnson Sakaja amerudi Nairobi.
Bada Koko.
Amerudi jana.
Alisikia. Okay.
He's back.
Maybe it's a commercial break, then it goes back.
Amechukua sabbatical. He'll be back. Now, freed Catholic nun now turns state witness in colleague's murder case. Catholic nun Caroline Kanjiro, who has been in police custody following the killing of her colleague Aselimina Karimi, will now be a state witness. And there is that accident that happened yesterday where 12 people died. Trip to Masai Mara luxury camp ends in tragedy for tourists and pilot. Now, everyday aircraft leave Diani Airport in Kwale County for Amboseli and Masai Mara National Park, ferrying tourists eager to experience the beach and bush in Kenya's luxury destinations. Here is an image of security personnel at the scene where a Mombasa Air Safari plane crashed early yesterday at Viongwani in Kwale County. All 10 passengers and their pilot died in the accident. Agencies are there trying to find out what could have caused that accident. But EACC have recovered 2.8 billion shillings land hived off Karura. Now, court declares the parcel that had been allocated to former cabinet minister J.J. Kamoth in 1994 as public property, and land officers who transferred that land, a case has been instituted against them. We also have that story of the Iranian boat, 8 billion shillings drag haul, and how that is proceeding. But the Iranians have rejected the US-linked interpreter to let our very own to interpret what it is we are saying. The problem is not in the interpretation. It is that this man is linked to the US, so we don't trust that he will interpret well.
He may tell you guys something else. And that's not what we said.
That is not what we said.
Leave alone that if we even bring our own interpreter, he too can also tell you what we didn't say.
Yeah.
But by virtue of the fact that he's from America.
Yeah, atutaki hiyo maneno.
No.
Now, student in court over fake exam papers. A student at Meru University of Science and Technology has been arraigned for selling fake Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination papers. It is not the first time we're seeing this. Question is, when will it end? And parents have been told, you will pay for school unrest. The government of Kenya will not pay for renovate schools that have been destroyed by students. Parents will do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay. So, let's look at the Star. The headline: ex-governors owe millions in mortgages and loans. One county chief with a tenure of just 5 years borrowed 50 million Kenya shillings. I'll get into details of this story. It's a very interesting one. Still, experts probe Kwale plane crash as Kenya mourns. Bad weather, the wreckage of the Mombasa Air Safari plane that crashed in Diani South Coast yesterday. Top Mombasa Air Safari plane 5 YCCA. And they're probing what could have happened because The airline operates a fleet of similar aircrafts connecting Kenya's coast and national parks, and they're saying that all indicators suggested bad weather could have been a key factor, though a full investigation is underway, and the probe will be conducted under the International Civil Aviation Organization Convention on Aircraft Accident Investigations. It's the worst, actually, in terms of commercial flights. Tragically, all 11 occupants on board the aircraft are found to have suffered fatal injuries, and the victims included 8 Hungarian nationals, 2 Germans, and a Kenyan pilot. Still, there's a story: Iranians in 8.2 billion drug haul detained for 30 more days, and if convicted for the crime, the 6 foreigners face a possible life sentence. There's a story here on Kalwale defies party, campaigns for rival candidate in Malava. Senator declines pressure to support unpopular Ndakwa. So, there's another story here. South Sudan conflict has driven 25,000 new refugees into Kenya. So the UN Commission on Human Rights in South Sudan has said the escalating conflict and renewed fighting are forcing hundreds of thousands to flee once again. And the Commission says the renewed violence has forced at least 300,000 people out of the country, with 25,000 ending up in Kenya, deepening an already dire regional refugee crisis. Already, Kenya is hosting 854,000 registered refugees and asylum seekers from more than 20 countries as of June this year, straining local resources. Of this, more than 308,000 refugees and asylum seekers are in Kakuma, and 62% of them are from South Sudan.
I can tell you for sure that there's an influx. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because if you look at some of the residences in Nairobi, you have a heightened number of brothers and sisters from this area.
Yeah.
And they're moving fast into Kenya. But they're not going to the refugee camps.
Nope.
That means that they do have some source for sustenance. So they're being funded somehow, whether it's by family members in different parts. But there is an influx. If we look... What did you say? South Sudan?
Yeah.
Yeah, specifically. There is a huge...
Of the total number in Kakuma, 62% are from South Sudan.
Right. But
And
you also,
we're getting more numbers because 300,000 have already been forced out of the country. So you have 25,000 that have now come into Kenya. So the others are scattered. But this is documented. These are the ones
who are documented. All right, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, to another story. ESCC reclaims grabbed Karura forest land. So the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has won a major legal battle to recover public land that had been illegally excised from Nairobi's Karura forest and the Kenya Technical Teachers College. Then there's a story here. Study showing...
somebody can just go and hive off Karura forest?
Yeah.
So this, okay, so in this case, it's a very, very old case. And this was former Minister J.J. Kamodo.
The education, yes?
Sorry?
Minister. He was education
Yes,
minister.
yes. So
Yeah.
he took it when he was minister.
Okay.
Okay. And this was under former late President Daniel Moi. And so it's taken years and years and years. So finally, the case was settled, and in a judgment delivered by the Environment and Land Court in Nairobi, the court ruled that the parcels of land, including Nairobi's block, whatever, were unlawfully allocated to private individuals and companies, and therefore, irudishwe.
Well, that's a good thing, he thinks.
Yeah. A study showing 80% of low-income earners report a drop in revenue. Nearly 8 in 10 Kenyans living in urban areas say their income has either stagnated or declined this year, underscoring the strain many households are facing amid rising living costs and slow wage growth. Then tough economic times hurt land prices in towns. Mashamba zinunuliwi, so the prices are steady. Just the average price per acre, it has experienced the slowest growth since 2020.
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. People don't have money to buy
People are struggling in
to
their
buy
own
land. So,
households.
but as that is happening, I'll quickly just run through this story. Let's talk about debt. So you are struggling to this to few thousands, eh? Ex-governors, eh?
Oh.
Ex-governors.
Yeah.
Owe millions in car loans and mortgages. So a parliamentary investigation has uncovered what appears to be widespread abuse of car loan and mortgage schemes involving current and former governors and senior county officials. So the Senate County Public Investments and Special Funds Committee found many county executives, particularly former governors, have defaulted on their loan repayments. Now, you want to know how bad this is, eh? Osotsi, who is the committee chairperson, said some sitting governors have taken loans they were unlikely to clear before their terms expire. We had a case where a governor borrowed 50 million. How can one possibly repay 50 million in 5 years? In Parliament, we also have access loans, but all must be cleared within our term. So governors are earning 957,000 Kenya shillings, including allowances every month. Now, over the past 2 days, the committee identified at least 4 former governors and a deputy who still owe millions in unpaid loans years after leaving office. In Meru County, all 3 former governors, Peter Munya, Kiraitu Murungi, and Kawira Mwangaza, are among the officers who owe a combined 58 million
Come on.
to the Meru County Executive Staff Housing Fund. They owe. Yes. You want to ask your question? It's going to get worse.
The staff housing fund.
There's the County Executive Staff Housing Fund.
Nia nini?
Senior Mkopo.
Nyamkopo.
It's
You
a
can
housing
borrow.
fund.
Okay, everybody, even you,
Housing
the
fund.
governor. Okay, sawa.
No, governor, deputy, and county executives can go to that kitty, borrow money.
And
So,
Roger.
county executives.
yes, county
they're
executive
among.
staff. It's
Yeah.
county executive staff.
All right.
So Governor Mutuma told senators Kiraitu took 40 million in December 2022, repayable over 20 years. Munya and
Was he still
Mwangaza,
president? Was he still governor in 2022? He was not.
But it's payable within 20
it's
years.
now
No,
it's
but he was taking as who?
As governor.
He was not governor in
No,
December
governor, he was
2022.
no. Governor, so Kiraitu took 40 million loan in December 2022,
How?
repayable over 20 years.
My question is,
I know your question.
so you understand
it's
where
in
I'm going?
Parliament, yes.
Okay, sawa.
Still was able to take the loan. Mwangaza
Nobody
borrowed
rejects.
25 million and 13 million respectively, also with their 20-year repayment terms. Now, what senators are questioning, why the county allowed loans with repayment periods that extend far beyond office holders' terms.
Exactly. Or even when you're not in office, you can still take
Yes,
the
you
loan.
can still
How?
take loan. Yes. So the issue we are facing dates back to Peter Munya's tenure. This is the example. Now, this is what I didn't know. He said the county relied on the Salaries and Remuneration Commission guidelines that allowed, listen to this. This is crazy. That allowed governors, deputies, and executive members to set their own repayment timelines.
Oh, okay.
Now you see where the problem
We're
is?
here getting
Yes.
annoyed.
They
Kumbe.
still have a
They're following the guidelines. So the guidelines, you can decide, how long do you want to repay?
I want to pay in
50 years.
30-41.
Yeah, sour.
No problem.
Where
How much
loan.
do you want to pay per month? I have like 150 per month. Oh, no problem. No problem.
How is this a guideline? For heaven's sake, you borrow a loan and you can borrow any amount you want. Now, in this case, you're hearing 50M in car loans and mortgages, 50 million. And then you're saying, if 50 million, they lipa in 20 years.
20
You know you have only 5-year term.
5-year term.
So once your term is ending, that's it.
The person
So
who is
people have
agreeing
been
is also
defaulting.
culpable.
Yeah.
The person who is agreeing to these loans is culpable. The one who is approving and signing on the dotted line and allowing those funds to be released also is culpable here. It's supposed to be a termly loan. This far out exceeds the term.
Yeah.
And you also allow them to say, I don't think I'll have this amount per month, but I can pay this. Then you say, no problem. No, just go ahead. Come on.
I mean, even when you talk about setting the term limit, I mean, don't you just sit down and say it's not making sense?
These people left. You know, the worst thing is, people, we all know the corruption in counties. So besides ile pesa ingine, hii ni loan ulichukua. Now in West Pokot, the committee discovered former governor John Lonyangapuo and his deputy owe the county more than 45 million in unpaid car loans and mortgages. His deputy owes 23 million, according to a county demand letter. dated May 15, 2024, which warned of legal action if the arrears were not cleared within 30 days. 30 days ilikuja na ikapita. That was May. We are in which month?
We are in October.
Yeah. We are actually to Minusa November. And still nothing has happened.
So 30 days. So we're talking about 6 months later. Nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened.
Where? Okay. In the hospitals, hospitals recording high mother-infant deaths phase closure. Now, health institutions and practitioners registering high maternal mortality rates will no longer have their licenses renewed. That's according to Cabinet Secretary Eden Duale. The announcement comes as Kenya grapples with alarming mother and child mortality statistics. Kenya was ranked among the top 5 African countries where women die from childbirth complications, with 594 deaths per 100,000 live births. Now, the 2024 report on preventing child and maternal deaths by the United States Agencies for the International Development put the country in 4th. Now, from 2020, the last year, some 7,764 women in Kenya died while giving birth, according to UNICEF. The lifetime risk of maternal deaths in 1 year stands at 52%. During the launch of the Kenya Quality Care Health Facility Assessment Report and the Reproductive Maternal, Newborn, Child and Adolescent Health and Nutrition Investment Case in Nairobi, Duale gave shocking findings. When expectant mothers are dying on your watch, your medical licenses are of no importance to us. Only 4 out of 10 hospitals in the country have the capacity to handle deliveries effectively. How many? 4 out of 10 hospitals in the country.
What are you talking about? Sorry.
I don't know how many hospitals we have, but it says only 4 out of 10 hospitals. Now, according to the ministry, many workers in public and private health institutions manage patients via mobile phones instead of being physically present. So you're managing a patient kwa simu. How are you doing this morning? Unasikia aje, instead of being there physically. Now, Duale said his ministry would soon launch a nationwide survey targeting hospitals in an effort to save expectant women from gross medical negligence. Some doctors have been using the Practice 360 app from their bedrooms to discharge patients. That will no longer be the case. They must be within 500 meters of the hospital for the app's OTP to work.
That's a good thing. True. Be there. Be present. We have too many losses.
My question is, this has been happening for a while now. Why wait now? What happened to checks and balances and making sure that all these things work?
I guess it got to the point where it's so much that they have to finally do something about it now. And I think...
sometimes it's tiring to hear, we will do. Just do it. Then come late and tell us. Remember the Shah saga?
Yeah.
The boardroom and the boxes and volumes of evidence of people who are suspected to be committing crimes. What happened? As of 2 weeks ago, only how many people? 6 people have been charged in court. From
after all
those
that
fires.
shouting and making
So
noise.
this thing of closing hospitals, cut a license, do it, and then tell us, we've done this.
We've done
and then
this,
tell us
and as a
later.
result, this is what we've done. We've saved these many lives.
Indeed. So some of the stories making headlines. Of course, we're looking through them as we go along. We'll take a break now. It's 7 o'clock after 7. Dr. Fred Matiang'i in the hot seat. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.